Hey guys, Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. What you're looking at here is the ingredients for a simple but spicy, I guess you can say savory as well, tamarind sauce. This one is used on doubles, pholourie. It's pretty much a condiment that's well used throughout the island. We call it tamarind sauce or tambran sauce, but it's basically what I have here is some tamarind pulp. I think it's about 6 ounces or so of tamarind pulp. I've got 1 scotch bonnet pepper, about 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. So we're going to adjust this as we go along. A couple cloves of garlic, and I've got here about 4 stems of shadow bonnet. Say if you guys are down in the Caribbean, obviously you're going to be getting higher quality than I have here, but it works. If you can't get shadow bonnet, cilantro is a good other option that you guys can use. But what we're going to do here, we're going to take the garlic. I think there's 3 cloves of garlic there actually, yeah. The garlic, the scotch bonnet pepper, as well as the shadow bonnet, and we're going to crush it all together to create a paste. After which we're going to add some water, the tamarind paste, as well as the sugar, and cook it a little bit. Now, cooking it or boiling it, it's going to seem strange to many of you because you can simply put this stuff in a blender or something and not have to cook it. But I find by cooking it, what it does, it takes that pungency away from the raw garlic, as well as it infuses everything with the shadow bonnet and the hot pepper, as well as the savory aspect with the brown sugar. So stay tuned, and we're going to get cracking on this savory, spicy tamarind sauce. So I've gone ahead and I've crushed the pepper, the shadow bonnet, and the garlic, and as you can see, it's a sort of a chunky paste. I'm not sure how clear the camera is for you guys here, but it's sort of a chunky paste. And the next step now, we're going to put the tamarind pulp into some water in a pot, and using our hands we're going to sort of break it down. Now during this step you have 2 choices. This one here, it has seeds in it. Sometimes you may get the pulp without the seeds, which is fine and dandy, but you have 2 choices. You can leave the seeds in it, as well as you can remove the seeds, simply because I guess there's no real need for the seeds. Stay tuned and we'll get into that step in 2 and 2. So as I mentioned, we're going to crush the garlic, the shadow bonnet, as well as the scotch bonnet pepper. But what I did, I gave it a rough chop just to make it easier to crush. We're going to try and get a sort of a chunky paste out of this, just to make it easier to infuse into the sauce that we're making, the sort of condiment that we're making with the tamarind. And I have my mortar and pestle. This was given to me by, I think my brother sent this for me from the islands, from Trinidad and Tobago a while back. And I'm just going to go ahead and crush this all up here, and then we're going to continue with the third step, well, I guess the second step of making this wonderful tasty tamarind sauce. So here I have the tamarind pulp, which is sitting in about 1.5 cups of water in a saucepan. Try to use a fairly deep saucepan because we're going to be sort of cooking this or boiling this for about 15-20 minutes or so. So you may as well use a saucepan just to start off with. Now I'm going to use my fingers basically and break this apart to remove the seeds and to crush everything up into a sort of a smooth runny paste. To that we're going to add the crushed pepper, garlic, and the shadow bonnet, as well as the brown sugar, and we're going to bring it to a boil and then simmer it for about 15 minutes or so. So with the 1.5 cups water and the pulp that I put in there, what I did was using my hands. You may want to wear gloves. It will feel weird between your fingers. If you can get the pulp without the seeds, by all means do so. And in this step here, what I did was I removed all the seeds, or the pit that some people may call it, and this is it here. This is going to go into the garbage. At this point here, with this thick sort of soupy consistency that we've got here, at this point is where, if you want, you have the option of either cooking this, as in my case I will be cooking it. I'll be simmering it for about 15 minutes or so with the other ingredients. But however, if you don't want to cook it, and by all means go ahead and give that a try, simply put it into a blender with the with the pepper, the shadow benny, and the garlic, as well as the brown sugar, and blend it. And then I mean, I say you taste it to see if you need more sugar, or if you want to add a dash of salt or anything, and that would be it. But in my case here, like I said, I'm going to add all the other ingredients to this pot here, the saucepan that I have, bring it up to a rolling boil, and I'm going to reduce it all the way down to a simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to taste it to see. Supposed to be the taste you're looking for is a sort of a tart or sour, sort of savory with the sugar, as well as spicy with the hot pepper and the shadow benny and garlic. So I've added all the ingredients into the pot here now, and I'm just going to give it a good stir just to allow everything to incorporate. We want everything to blend together and be infused by all the flavors we've added here. So the sugar, the tamarind pulp, the garlic, the shadow benny, as well as the pepper is all in here now. You may want to add a dash of salt, that is totally up to you, but I'm going to allow this to simmer now for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be all done. So this here is the finished tamarind sauce that we've been working on. Basically, it's used as a condiment on pholourie, double, saheena, or any sort of use you may have for spicy, savory. I mean, it's going to be very hot because we use an entire scotch bonnet pepper. I use the seeds and everything. If you want to control the heat, remember you can remove the seeds. I mean, say, don't use the seeds, but just use the flesh of it. So there we go, guys, tamarind sauce. I hope you guys give it a try. If you'd like the recipe for doubles, for pholourie, saheena, leave me a comment below, and I'll certainly hook you guys up with those recipes. Chris here, Caribbean Pot. Hope you guys check out the recipes. And remember, guys, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel here, as well as leave me some comments. And before you go, hey, give me the thumbs up. It's really appreciated. Thanks, guys.